is Tammy with Debbie Tammy Creations, and I'm going to be showing you how to wrap a square cabochon. And a cabochon is a stone that has no drilled holes in it, and it has a flat back and a polished front. So my cabochon here is 1 1/4 inches tall, and it's actually not quite a square because it's only 1 inch wide. So a little bit more like a rectangle. You're also going to need 11 inches of, each one of these is 11 inches. I've got 4 square 20 gauge dead soft copper wires. And I have 22 gauge half round copper wire, about 4 or 5 inches, and 4 4mm beads. And then you will need your flush cutters, chain nose pliers or tweezer nose, round nose pliers, and if you have them, nylon jaw pliers. So to begin, we're going to find the center of these 4 wires, and we're going to attach our half round wire in the center with that flat side underneath and against the wires, and then you're going to bend it over so that the half round part is pointed up and the flat side is down against the wires. And we're going to go around several times trying to keep these 4 wires in line and flat, and I like to squeeze them together with the flush cutters like this. And we'll just go around a few times until we have enough to really make this a strong connection. And then I'll do a few more on the other side as well. Squish them together and down. And then I'm going to push the ends up to one side like this. I'm going to cut this one a little bit so it doesn't hang over, but this is going to be the inside piece that touches the stone. And if you can kind of squeeze them closer together. All right. So this will be at the bottom of our stone, and where we cut them, this will be where the stone rests, right? So that you don't really see that part. So you're going to put this right in the center at the bottom of your stone, and we're going to start curling up along the sides, each of these sides. And I like to do it so that it's not a real sharp turn, but it kind of comes around the corner like this on the sides. And that helps to secure it in the front. And it also just gives it kind of a graceful look. I'm going to take the stone out though and turn it to the back. And I'm going to, the back wires, I'm going to take my pliers underneath there and twist it inward. And the same on the other side, put my pliers in and twist it inward. Just so when we turn it back over, our stone has something to sit on. And that's going to be the back. And that way it's not going to fall out the back. So we can stick it back in there. You can see how that's going to hold the stone in. Okay, so back around to the front. I'm going to bring these around. I also sometimes like to make a little twist in the wire at the base here as it's coming up. So that's kind of a pretty feature or design that you can add there. And then on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing with this top wire, but I'm going to do it a little higher up so it balances it like this there. So it's a little bit higher, but it's the same kind of idea. All right, so now I'm going to bend all of these on this side over kind of to the front, and these are going to be more toward the back so that they don't get entangled in each other. These stay together and these stay together. And then in the center, it makes it a little bit easier then to make your bend. So these are now going straight up from the middle. And then you can bend the other side to meet so that we have this little neck right here where they meet in the center. Okay, so now what I like to do is turn it over, and I take one of my back wires, one of these back ones, and right here where it meets, I'm just going to bend it this direction, and I'm going to start moving it around the bail. So it's going to go around these wires, these 3 or 4 on this side, and around these 3 on this side. Okay, and we can do that a couple times. Just bring it around. And then what I also like to do is pull it back. I kind of got it out of joint there, but this dead soft wire is so nice because it's very forgiving. And just try to bring it back so it's in line here. And from the front, you don't see that coming across. If you want to, you can cut another piece of your half round wire instead of using this back wire to go around, and you can just use that to go around all the wires and they're all going up. But I just find that this is a little, stronger, this wire, and this works out well for me. Always more than one way to finish or come up with your design. So now I'm going to bend to the sides these wires. Find the side that they came from if you can. Right? And I'm going to have 3 in the back here that I'm going to use to make my bail. Right? For this bail, we're just going to do a simple bail, and we're just going to bend them. I'm just going to bend them around my finger to begin with. Sometimes then I go in and hold it, pull it forward a bit with my tool, and then squeeze these toward the center so that where your chain goes, there's not going to be a space there. All right, so we've got our little bail, and with this wire that we were using to come around, I'm going to go around one more time to capture those back wires, and then I'm going to trim this off with enough length left to hide this little tail inside the bail there. So I'm just going to bend it in and press it down inside there. Okay. And this will be hidden with these other wires in a moment. All right. So now we're going to separate these back wires that came out from the bail. So I'm going to have the 2 side ones go out to the sides, and then this one, we're going to bring it out to this side. over here. So we've got one going this way and two going that way from the back. And just going to make sure that this is nice and secure. Sometimes if this isn't against the stone, you can just press it down and kind of rock it back and forth to get that up against the stone real nicely. All right, so now what we're going to do, we've got our wires coming out, and we're going to make a little rose in the front here. So we're going to bend this one and we're going to bring it around into kind of a tight little curl right in front of where all those wires are crisscrossing. And then we're going to bring this one from the other side and we're going to go kind of behind that and follow along, kind of behind. So this one's going to keep turning and then this other one's going to come along behind it. So we're going to keep turning this top one and bring this one around behind, and that will make this little, what looks kind of like a little rose. Okay, to bring this around, that one. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is take this one around to the back. I'm going to trim it just a little bit and then tuck it in underneath here. And then this one, I'm just going to make these little snug closer together there. This one I'm going to bring around and through underneath. Tuck it in. All right, so now I think with this one we'll just bend it and make a little curl here along the side. So we'll just curve it in and let it curl around. And it's a little long, so I'm going to trim that. Yeah, there. Okay. And kind of press it up, tuck it in there. And then we will take this one and we're going to twist it. So we're going to put our pliers on the end of it and then just twist the whole pendant, turn it so that this wire becomes twisted. All right, and then we're going to take both of these together, these two wires, holding them together. We're going to bend them around like this and around to the back. And I'm going to trim those so that there's just enough to tuck them around this wire here. Come around that wire there. Just wrapped around as best you can. Okay. Oh, and look what happened. So that when I started twisting it, it pulled this so that it wasn't, took up the slack. So, you know, I think it's good to show you these tutorials and kind of, you can see how things happen and you may have to make adjustments. I'm going to trim this little end because it's poking out and it's kind of sharp. Okay. But I like to make things as I go. I don't always have a real good idea of what it's going to look like in the end. But no, everything is an opportunity then. So you get into a situation like this, and then you have to figure out, oh, what can I do to compensate for that? And we have lots of options because we've still got these 2 wires here. I think we'll bring this one around, and I'm going to start feeding or putting these beads onto this wire. I believe these are 4mm beads, and they go right around or through. Sometimes if you get beads that the hole is not big enough here, it won't go onto this 20 gauge wire. So you just want to make sure. Usually the 4mm works fine for me, but I'm going to bring this around and through from the back. Oops. I want to bring it through. Again, the idea here is to pull up that slack. So I'm trying to kind of do the opposite of what we did before. And tighten that down. Okay. And then I can trim this off here and tuck it in. Like that. All right. So now we've got that. And we've still got this little one here that we can do something with. And I think it would be pretty if we twisted this one as well. So we'll just put a little twist in it. And I'm going to straighten out my bail a little bit better too. I think I'm going to make a little twist around the top here. And then another one just kind of in between this little space. And then if you have enough left, you can make one more little curl on this side, like this. And that one we will definitely need to tie down with some half round wire. But I think that will work. So I'm going to take my little, I don't know what this is called, but if you have a needle or thumbtack or something you can get underneath that top wire with, even these would work. And then I need another little piece of my half round wire. I'm going to tuck this in. I'm going to go through the loop, pull it through with the flat side pointed up, and then bend it over. And I'm going to come up and push it through the loop and under that first wire there and pull it through that. We just want to keep this loop from being disengaged. I'll do one more. I'm going to cut it a bit because it's kind of long. Push it through there. Right, and then I'm going to trim both ends. And press that down there. All right, so then all I need to do is oxidize it and it will be done. So if you make this, please share and tag us on Instagram or Facebook at Debbie Tammy Creations so we can see your work. Thank you.